Well, you all remember this map of Wisconsin I showed you before? This map is over 300 years old, but there's something very important on this map. Down there where the Wisconsin River meets the Mississippi River, you'll see there's a little X and it says lead mine. And that's important because back after the War of 1812, Wisconsin, the Northwest Territories, belonged to the United States after pretty much the French and Indian War. That was while the British were still in charge of the United States. After the Revolutionary War, Wisconsin technically became part of the United States, but the British still pretty much controlled this. After the War of 1812, the British were out of here. So now this land was really open for people to start settling in Wisconsin. And after the War of 1812, there was a shortage of lead on the East Coast. And they had these maps that said, hey, you know, out there in that Wisconsin territory, they got lead in the ground down in the southwestern part of Wisconsin. So settlers and miners, particularly people from Cornwall, England, came here to Wisconsin in the early 1820s, and they went to places like Platteville and Mineral Point, and a little place called Belmont, Wisconsin. Anybody know why Belmont, Wisconsin is important? Teachers, do you know that one? It's the first capital of Wisconsin. Before Madison, Belmont, Wisconsin was our first capital back when we were a territory. And these were places that had lead mines. So miners would dig down into the ground to bring up galena ore. Galena is what you get lead from. Galena is like a mineral, it's a rock. You put that in a stove and you heat it up and the lead will melt out of it. But that's what they were digging for, was galena. So this is a song about a lead miner, and there really is a mine called the Bevens Mine in Platteville, Wisconsin. I've been there. And this is a song about the life of a lead miner back then. My name is Will Penrose, I am a lead miner. In southwest Wisconsin I spent of my time. In Platteville the year was 1845, when I went to work in the big Bevens Mine. Pull out my short shovel, my pick and my auger, 1 foot in the bucket, 1 hand on the line. They lowered us down where galena was waiting, a vein of lead ore in the big Bevens Mine. Crawl into the bare hole with hands and knees bleeding, muck out the rough ore, Lord, it's breaking my spine. With no light to see but my small stick and Tommy, I labored a year in the big Bevens Mine. Now I was so poor that I lived in the mine shaft, behind the gob walling my dinner I dine. I lived underground, so they called me a badger, and I lived and died in the big Bevens Mine. One day after blasting, they called for a trimmer. I needed the money, the job, it was mine. I poked at the ceiling to check for loose rock there, when a rumbling roared out of the big Bevens Mine. The last thing I saw were the walls closing round me. I died with no marker, no tombstone so fine, but my picture, it stands on the flag of Wisconsin. I am a lead miner from the big Bevens Mine.